I guess every teacher sort of naturally brings their own experience with them into the classroom, and I'm reminded of an example in a video you were talking about your love of Western movies, for example. And I was just wondering, do you find that these sorts of examples help students understand? And also, are there any examples that you've used that were perhaps too abstract and that they just had no frame of reference for?
It certainly does help them learn. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize about the education system here in Korea is that it is very driven. Now, I predominantly work with elementary age students, and they're in school, throughout the day, and then they go to their private academies, like my school, in the afternoons, whether it be for English, whether it be for martial arts, music, etc. But they're essentially going to school from about 8 a.m. in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. So I always try to find examples that, make it very light, such as, taking time out in my class to explain why a good yeehaw is so important to the story, or if there's a sound effect in the story that we're reading that each kid has an opportunity to make that sound effect. And it really helps because it really allows them to be a kid, where in this educational culture, sometimes they just don't have that opportunity anymore. As far as something that has missed, I'm trying to think of something. I can't think of anything offhand. Sometimes the thing that tends to miss is that when you're working with younger students or students who haven't had a lot of English education, the way that you'll explain something is sometimes problematic because you can only use English in the classroom. So if you try to explain something like sticky, you can, how do you explain it to someone who's 7 years old who doesn't really understand the word sticky? And you start going into examples of what glue feels like, or taking a can of cola and leaving it on your friend's bicycle seat in the hot sun, so when they sit on it, it's very gross and icky.
Hmm.
And you find yourself becoming a human thesaurus. And that's where, if something doesn't work the first time, you just keep on going and going and going until they get it. And then you see it in their eyes. And that's the awesome moment is when their eyes, and they go, aha, and then they give you another example of what it was like. And that's makes it all worthwhile.